one part that you always hear about and people avoid like the plague is networking and building an audience. That is something you really want to start doing a few months before your book comes out. You know, whether it's social media and doing, you know, going around different places and doing readings, like even critique groups, stuff like that. I mean, you can develop, you know, professional connections and personal connections. Like some of my best friends I've met through social media, you know, in the author world. I mean, so you build your audience up. You get, you know, you have a blog, you know, Facebook page, a Twitter, you know, be on LinkedIn, Google Plus, you know, websites like I have some websites like on webs.com, wix.com, blogs you can do like WordPress, blogger.com. I mean, you just talk about different writing things. If you write, say, medical thrillers, okay, well, you can just look up Google. I mean, there's pretty much always a story somewhere of someone being sued for malpractice or, I mean, some kind of medical issue here or there. I mean, you can almost always find stuff like that anywhere you go, anywhere you look. So you can always share articles like that. You can just talk about the writing process, like, okay, well, I'm writing this much today. I got this to do, that to do, and you get people, excuse me, you get people interested. And then when you have your book coming out, it helps builds up the hype with it. I know that's what hurt me in my first book, and Call It Poseidon. I was pimping it out. I'm pushing and pushing and pushing. And I had to pull it off 3 times. By the time I had the final date coming up, I mean, everyone's looking at me. I was like, basically, oh, he's not serious. It's this. I mean, I destroyed everything I built up to that point. That was another thing I basically hit the ground and learned as I went, because I didn't think, oh, the book comes out. You don't need to do a whole lot. People mention it, so yeah, I got a website. I started doing that. And I started kind of getting the flow. I started building up, and that kind of hurt me, because I didn't, like I said, that's another thing on there. It's like, you know, when you work with people, get the ones that are actually serious about how you're working, that take your deadline seriously. Because it's so easy for people to say, oh, well, you're doing this yourself. You can do what you want to. You can put it off, which is a great thing. If you need to postpone a release or something, you can. But there are a lot of people that don't take it seriously because, why do they care? You're working for yourself. You're not working for a company. You're not working a 9-to-5 job. You don't have a real job. So you have to be sure you find people that are actually committed with you to help you with that. And that's where a lot of networking come in handy. As you can find editors in it, you can find cover artists, you can find proofreaders, beta readers, critique, and you can find a lot of them on there. So, I mean, it's really the days of us not using social media are pretty much dead. We have to be on there doing something.
It's almost part of the job. I mean,
yeah, it's like I say, it's not really a job; it's a lifestyle. You almost have to. It's like when you start up any business. If you start up a grocery store in the corner, you've got to work 18, 20 hours a day in the store. You almost have to sleep in the back room just to get it successful for how many months or years it'll take to make enough money where you can actually afford to close at a normal hour or whatnot to be able to take your foot off the gas. And that's how this is. You have to pour yourself into it. I mean, I have friends that, one friend of mine lives in the Netherlands. He sleeps 4 hours a night. He works for Boeing. He's, you know, a computer guy. He has 5 kids. One's newborn. One's, you know, has autism. His wife is a stay-at-home. He makes enough money she can stay at home with that. But he sleeps 4 hours a night so he can get some writing in, so he can do his things. You know, I mean, it's always, like everything else, there's always a little sacrifice you have to make. You have to always commit yourself to it, and that's what a lot of people, they don't understand or they don't want to deal with, because it is easier just to write something, throw it out there, and, okay, well, I'm happy it's published. It goes back to what you want. If you want to make a living out of it and make a business, you got to go into it. If you just want to write something, share it with the world, and leave it at that, more power to you. You know, I mean, it's like, man, you can put it out there, you have to worry about this stuff. I mean, this all depends on what you personally want as your goals. As if you want to have it, you know, have it as a career, if you want to chase the golden ring like Stephen King and make, you know, be worth a few $100 million or whatnot, I mean, it's what it all is. I mean, it's not going to happen to a lot of people for that much. I mean, everyone can make money at it and make a living at some point, but it's all about how much effort you put into it. And that's where the social media comes in, is you can build that following. You have people that care about you, care about your book. Like I said, My Sword in the Flame, after the second book, I had people ask me, when's the next one coming out? Well, I have a science fiction book coming out. That came out, I heard people, oh, it's the best one you ever read. When's the next Sword in the Flame coming out? Okay, you want the Sword in the Flame? Okay, well, I got the idea, started churning, don't worry, it's coming. I mean, you have that, and there's no better, you know, joy than actually have people just out of the blue message you on Twitter or Facebook or call you, family member, like, when's the next one coming? When's the next one coming? You may not have that if you're not, you know, out there throwing yourself out there in front of people. It's hard, but it's like making friendships and relationships in real life. You actually have to talk with the people and interact with them.
I have a friend in our writers group who has published a couple of books, and he's a writer. I mean, that's what he does. But he would leave the group early, like, you know, 8:30, because he went home. He went to bed early. That was his schedule, and he'd get up maybe 3 in the morning or something, and the first thing he'd do would, you know, be out there networking. I mean, that was just part part of his work day.
Hey, that's on my, like, I'm going to go to bed, I'd love to say at 10 o'clock for once. That's a very brief thing.
Late for you?
No, that's early. I usually go to bed between 1 and 2. But then I get up at 7. And I do my networking. I have everything set to start at 8 o'clock, so by 7 o'clock I compile things like on Twitter. I have a welcome new friends list. I have a massive retweet. Thank you. I want to retweet the last day before. I put lists together because people like the shout outs. Then I post those. I retweet everybody. That usually takes overall 2 hours. If I'm up at 7 doing that, I'm usually done roughly about 9 o'clock. And again, it's like maybe 2 to 3 to 4 hours sleep, so I'm done with that. Usually, computer's off, I lay down, I'm back out. You know, I won't budge again until between 10 and 12. Between either the cats get pissed off they're not fed yet, or my wife wakes up and yells at the cat for yelling at her, but whatever. It's like I usually wake up between there, so I usually get like 5 or 6 hours a night. But I get up. That's just my schedule. It works for me because every morning I also post a blurb on Twitter, pin it to my account, and every day I get roughly 60 to 80 retweets or more. So I'm reaching a lot of people, and it's expanding. It's growing every day, every week, and it goes up and down like a roller coaster sometimes. But I mean, it's something you have to do. You have to commit yourself to it.
A big part of what he spends time on is reviewing other people's books, so that they review his books. Do you know about that? Yeah, I mean,
everyone has different things. Some people do exchange reviews for reviews. I don't, because it's almost like personal, because then you almost feel obligated, because if they give you a good review, and then you're kind of like, well, if I give them like a 3-star because I don't really like this, I'm like, and then if you tell them you don't want to review because it's a bad review, because it's just whatever, you don't like the story, the characters, whatever, then you kind of, it's kind of, so I don't like really doing exchange for exchanges. I review books I want to read. If I see a premise, like I have friends of mine, like I said, I have a bunch of them from Twitter I've been seeing the last couple of years, I'm like, the books look so awesome, finally I start buying them. So I got about 15 books in there. I was like, okay, these are going to be read because they looked awesome. They look awesome. I'm going to get to them. I will get to them at some point. But someone reviews mine. I'm like, if I sit there and say, oh, I just read yours, how review them? They're like, awesome, thank you. I hope you liked it. And then if it's a good review, great. If it's just a review, okay, well, you still liked it. You liked enough to review it. If the outright hated it and the review never appears up, I'm thinking, okay, well, no blood, no foul. It's like, okay, we live with that. I've taken my lumps. But yeah, I personally, myself, I just don't like it because I don't want to be indebted to someone. Even if it's not implied, I just feel because, well, you reviewed mine, I really want to review yours. And it's like, and I don't want to come across like I'm exchanging them. That's just my personal thing. It's just like, you don't want to buy reviews. It's like, my thing I did for my Winter Creek Beast that exploded a lot of me last year, I mean, bestseller, both free and paid for a few months as in the top in several minor categories. And I don't really know exactly how I did it, but I was on Amazon and KDP Select, where it's exclusive to Amazon, and I got 5 free days. I would set it up. I would go in Goodreads. I would set up an event. I'd invite all my friends and say, well, this is free these days. If you want to review it, I'd appreciate an honest review. I was at 22 reviews. I never got that many reviews that fast in my life. And that kind of bumped it up. I mean, I was between 20,000 and 50,000 overall for about 8 months. And I was in the top 10 in like 2 to 3, subcategories for a long time. So I was technically a bestseller in the subcategories. I'm like, okay, that's cool. That was awesome. I was on 2 to 3 a day. I'm like, so I'm like, I don't know what I did. I don't know how I did it. It just worked out that way. So, I just ask if you want to review it. Great. I'd appreciate the honest reviews. If you don't want to, more power to you. Here's my book to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. It's very, you can sit there and say you have a formula. There really isn't a formula for that. It's like you can say you have ARCs you can send out, like the advanced reader copies. Almost like the beta read, I always reward my beta readers. Anyone that beta read me or did a cover review for me, I give them a free copy. Because in Amazon, if it's from Amazon, it's also, when you review it, it comes up as a verified purchase. So it's my little marketing trick there, because the verified purchases rank higher than if it's just a review, and it's not marked as a verified purchase. So while ARCs are great, if they're not a verified purchase, that works. So first day it's out, I make sure all my beta readers, they get a free copy. So if they decide to review it, it's verified. Just a little twist. I mean, I want to reward them because obviously they took the time out to read it and give me their feedback. But I also have my ulterior motive because, well, if you review it now, it's going to be verified. So, so it's kind of exchange. But I'm pretty open with that. It's like, I don't buy reviews. I never will buy reviews. Yeah, people offer to give. I had several people follow me on Twitter. I either ignore them or usually block them. They'll offer $5. They'll give you a 5-star review. John Locke, I think it was one that was busted doing that. He was actually, other accounts, he was actually trashing other authors as competitors. And you have stuff like that going on. But they'll buy bad reviews for their competitors to to drive their ratings down while they buy good reviews for them. I mean, it's a scam. I don't bother with that. I mean, I'll never buy a review. I advocate no one buying reviews, and I don't think it's like exchanging, because to me, it's almost like buying it. Even if it's not, I just personally feel indebted, and I don't want them to feel indebted to me. Or in the depth, I read their book first. They don't have to buy mine to read it then. It's just my personal. I mean, that's like there's a lot in there. I mean, like a lot of it's like as you go, you learn a lot more.
I was just going to say, you must have learned a lot the hard way.
Oh yeah, I mean, I listen to people. I had pages and pages of notes. But like any job, they can walk you through what to do, tell you what to do. This situation happens. You got a notebook full of notes. It happens. You sit there. You know, you're freezed up. You don't know what to do. It's kind of you learn. I'm the type. I learn more through experiencing it. You know, so it's like, I mean, I took all the notes, but yeah, I learned more from experiencing it, doing it. You know, and then I looked at the notes, I'm kind of like, you know, if I just been smarter and paid attention better, I just thought about looking at this or whatever, or looking at this, I'm like, well, it didn't cover this scenario. And it might just be a very vague scenario that might happen, or something that just happens here and there. So, I mean, that's my biggest thing, is just, you know, trying to share that with others. And if it helps them out, fantastic. Like I said, and the final step is publishing.